All right. Session 11 of Impossible Landscapes, Delta Green, Arc Dream Publishing, going by it. We last left off. You guys are going to help me. I think I got this covered. Session 10 started on September 1st, 2015 at the Gateway Bridges restaurant. And we left off, I think, at the end of the brief from Agent Exeter. So later, in that brief, you were given a phone and some details of Operation India Moon. And you departed. And then Mantillo ended up taking the phone, going back to her place, turning it on, turning it off, and then cracking it open to investigate the inside, where it was sand and rocks or sand and little pebbles, along with a vial that had a leaf inside it with a little golden bug.
Messed up.
Ends up going over to Maya's house to explain it. Weirdly enough, Mignon, roaming around town, ends up over at the same apartment complex in the same building. What are the odds? Yeah. Doing the Macarena, I believe.
On his phone.
On his phone. That's right. That was the ringtone.
I was visiting my friend down the hall. Coincidence.
But even before that, Agent Maya checked in to see if there was indeed an operation occurring. And the contacts with Delta Green had said no, that there was no India Moon and there was no Agent Exeter, and that she should be investigating what the source of this operation is, and look into it and report back. Mantillo shows up with the bug and the phone and the sand and the pebbles.
Except without the phone.
Oh, you left the phone behind?
Yeah, there's no phone.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. So you go over to Maya's house, apartment, and explain what happened. Mignon shows up. Sure, Siri.
Sure, we can try again.
I didn't get it either.
Shut up. Stupid voice recognition. Okay. Voice assistants. You guys, Mignon looks into Rick at the University of Florida.
Reefer Rick.
It's
his nickname. Reefer Rick.
Because he might be an entomologist that might be able to get some insight. A amateur entomologist, I believe.
Yes.
And Agent Maya was also going to look into resources through the U.S. Marshal Service, failed her role, and is now trying to figure out what to do on her end. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Then you guys go off to the Dorchester house in the morning the next day, and you meet, which would probably be September 2nd, 2015. And you meet Dr. Dallin, who was the contact that you had the business card for from Agent Exeter from the opera briefing. You also meet head nurse Esther Semigina, and had given you kind of the nickel tour, talked about some of the circumstances in which a few agents has been missing from Dorchester House, which is a psychiatric facility just outside Boston, or inside Boston, Massachusetts. Looking around, kind of getting the lay of the land, it's a relatively secure institution. It is not a federal day camp by any means. So you have a 3-story psychiatric facility with a perimeter fence and armed guards with some strict protocols as far as it relates to who gets access and when. There is a system that the doctor mentioned about the 3 levels and the third, literally the levels of the facility is broken up into wings. So it's kind of an E-shaped building where you have the men in one wing, the women on the other, and then in the center is the administrative wing. And then on each level, the highest level, third level, or third floor, it's kind of the most secure. And then as people have good behavior and things go smoothly and accept their treatment and make progress, they go down a level to second and then ultimately first, where it's a little bit more lenient and less restrictive. Upon leaving the facility, you caught an orderly off to the corner in one of the hallways that kind of opens up a little bit, and there's a duffel bag, and he seems to be mumbling something to the duffel bag. Nothing coherent or something that you could grasp, but that was the gist of it. And then you were shown out of the facility, and I think was that it, or did you not leave?
I didn't know that we had left.
Yeah, I think we
I thought we were just on the tour.
Oh, okay.
And that was it.
Correct. We were in the middle of a tour.
Got it. Okay.
I think.
Which would make a difference in that it implies that Dr. Dallin is with us when we see this staff member acting wacky.
Yeah, and in fact, Sean, we were like literally had just seen the guy and he was talking to his bag, and we were considering like, what are we going to do when we said let's cut? So I think we were actually still near the dude with the duffel bag. Actually.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Fair enough. Okay. So you are at the Dorchester house on September 2nd, 2015. And you're in the hallway and they're taking you around. I think even the doctor has stopped to show you specific rooms. I think he even pointed out some sample rooms.
Yeah, we
empty.
saw the all the bed restraints and that kind of stuff. We were I think there was also a plan to look at the video of the what a video there might be from when they escaped, or maybe there is no good video because they just disappeared. Because there's no video in the rooms, there's only video in the hallways, maybe.
Correct.
And I don't think they actually left the room through the door, as far as any evidence suggests. Is that true? That we have not seen any evidence of them leaving the room through the door?
That is correct.
I don't know. Have we actually seen any of the 6 rooms where people were kept yet?
There was one room I thought you guys went into.
Zombie.
Yeah. I thought there was there one room that you went into that I think they were going to either, I'd have to double check.
We looked at the newspaper on the wall because I think I failed a forensic check to.
Yeah, that's Zombie's room, like Lou just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember we've seen them all, but long and the short of it is I think we would check to see if locks had been jimmied, right. All that kind of stuff. So a cursory inspection of the room, Sean, whenever it happens.
And there was one thing that was a little conflicting, I believe. I think early on, the doctor had said that they were from all over the hospital, but later it turned out that they're all third floor, some men, some women, but all third floor patients.
Correct. All third floor patients, men and women, separated into their appropriate wings.
Right. And so we'd also had some questions about whether there was any communication between them during their stay at the facility.
Right. If they had been in a club together or a group, like a group therapy or anything like that.
So being on the third floor, there are times when they can associate with, they can socialize with each other. There's usually under orderly supervision. So there's interaction with many here. I mean, while the building seems large, the residents and the groups are small. There's only, I think, 30-ish patients split between the 3 floors. So
losing 6 is very noticeable.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's huge. And then I think we were going to look at the doctor's notes at some point, or the session notes, to see if there was anything connecting them that we could discover, especially in light of our knowledge, which we have not shared with him.
Well, I prefer not to share my session notes. Patient doctor privilege and HIPAA compliance, things of that nature. And I can assure you there was, other than some of the disorders that they had suffered from, I think I can divulge those in confidence, but some of the details I'd rather not go into. And none of them were indicative of escape.
Do they have any connection to New York City in common?
Let me see. I'd have to double check. I think
specifically, there's a McAllister or a Wright, Abigail.
As the patients that have disappeared?
No, as somebody that as names they have mentioned.
Oh, okay. Well, that I'd have to double check. That I might be able to do a cursory search on if that might even help. If you want to provide details in which I can search some of the notes, and as long as that they're not confidential, I can certainly divulge any type of conversation or specific persons. The names off the top of my head don't ring a bell at the moment.
But yeah, of course, you have a lot of information. Obviously, Abigail Wright, this name, whatever it may be, that was on the newspaper in the room.
Yes. Do you know the significance of that? Are you aware of what that might mean?
Well, like you, there's some confidentiality requirements that, as you know, we keep. We are aware that there is significance. Can certainly share that with you.
Oh, okay. I see. Sure. Of course.
Maya says we're really looking for any connection between them as well, from your notes or your recollection, shared trauma, shared hallucinations, or mental instabilities, any connections at all.
Are they artists?
No, we don't serve. Unless they're
Amateur. Yeah.
Yeah, if they pick it up as a hobby, I don't recall any of them to have anything specific to being an artist. I think Kim might have been, Plaslad might have done sketches on occasion, but nothing unusual. Sometimes if there is an outlet or a hobby that they had pursued in their personal lives, sometimes we can use that in their therapy to recovery.
Right.
What do you have on when each of them first came here? The incident that caused them to have a mental break?
Sure.
Do you have notes on those?
I do have some of their admission papers, which I don't think we can probably get you some copies of and some details.
Sorry, do you say you can or cannot?
I can get you some details on their admission
That would be
papers. Great. Yes. Mm-hmm. More of a portfolio dossier on some of their just high-level overview. Doesn't involve their treatment or session notes.
What about a specific phrase? Again, it may only be in your notes, but in the red, something, violence. I don't remember the rest of it. but pretend my character does. Fortunately,
So
I didn't write it
do you
down.
mean the thing that's not the thing that's written, but
No, the thing that's written on the files.
in the red,
that we
wet inside of men is where hate sleeps. Violence is what frees it.
There you go.
Seems like an interesting quote. Where did you get that from?
It's just being a writer, I've seen it. I also don't know why I'm asking you that question. Sorry, it's been a long day.
Oh, it's
been a long day.
Fine. I'm sure there's tons of. We have questions, of course. There's 6 people missing. There are going to be questions. The phrase off the top of my head does not ring a bell, and it doesn't stand out. But you have to understand, I've talked to these folks almost on a daily basis.
Okay, so obviously, if something similar between all of their cases were to pop up over and over again, you'd be aware.
Of course. I would find it strange if anybody had certain commonalities, but the commonalities, I can say this without any breach of confidentiality, would be that everybody we treat comes in with a mental diagnosis, if you will. And some of those
usually PTSD, right?
Well, it could be PTSD, could be mostly PTSD induced, but it could also morph from PTSD. It could be schizophrenia, it could be psychotic, it could be it could be all over the board. We have a thick book of all the terms of mental states and illness, and therefore it's. The details are vast, but we don't have anybody here that doesn't have a problem that we want to help them with.
That's an odd thing to say. Has there been any sort of implication by anyone that there are people here that shouldn't be here, that don't have a problem?
No, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are commonalities between all the patients, and the commonalities are that they all have a mental illness.
Oh, sure. Yes, of course.
Hence, somebody that would not have a mental illness would not be here.
Gotcha.
The details of that illness, some may have some commonalities. Say, for example, if patient A is PTSD, patient B might have seen some trauma in their lives, maybe in the service of the government, and also suffers from PTSD, but it can also become worse over time, or it could be compounded by some underlying issues that they've experienced through their lives.
Right. Yeah. No, I think the similarities we'd be looking for, right? And I assume you've already looked for them. Obviously, you're you're not an incompetent. Are things that would link these specific people as opposed to the other 20 some in your facility.
Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have any connections off the top of my head. There isn't any. They weren't all on the same softball team, Agent.
Right.
Sean, is Nurse Samagina here or not? I'm not sure where we're having this conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Doctor, can we focus more on the actual disappearance right now? Do you have any theories? I mean, you're part of this establishment, so.
I don't have any theories. It's just strange. We don't have any camera footage of them leaving. We don't have any visitor logs or people that are unaccounted for. We looked over the access logs. There isn't any anomalies that we had seen. It is very strange. He looks at the nurse, and the nurse, the head nurse, looks and says, "We've we've done some of our due diligence, and we're unable to determine what exactly happened and how they disappeared. But it's just very, very strange.
Sean, did those rooms, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, we've seen one of those rooms so far. Is that right? Just the one? Did it have a window?
Yes.
But like a window big enough for people to get out of, but it had bars, or was
Yes.
it too small for someone to?
All the windows are fairly decent size, allowing natural light in. And he even tells you, like, and you would have noted in that room. So says, yeah, so all our rooms do have windows, and we feel that, again, the sunlight also can help with people. And I mean, obviously there's seasonal depressional disorder that we probably would want to compound issues, and therefore natural light does help with people's attitudes and can actually help with the chemistry within the brain, we found in research. So we do have windows that are quite prevalent throughout the facility.
And all 6 rooms, did you do a thorough inspection looking for sliding panels? This used to be a boys' school, right? It's possible there are connecting passages that you don't know about.
There's, I mean, none that we found. There's concrete cinder block walls, and the rooms are fairly sparse in decor. So there's not too much to hide, and so we didn't find any sliding panels. And he looks at the nurse. The nurse is like, no, we don't think we didn't see any sliding panels in the walls. No, they look at you odd, like they just look at the wall like everything's cinder blocks, like old elementary school, 8-inch
Gotcha.
thick. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we asked before, the last time the patients were seen was around when?
Would have been the evening of their disappearance, during bed checks. Make sure all the patients are tucked in, as the nurse says.
And they were all reported missing that following morning.
That's correct. That's right.
I thought you said before it was at between 8:10 and 8:11 and 8:20 or something.
Yeah, it was that evening, I think. Bed restraint check-in at 6:30. Restraints not tampered with. Vanished from their room at 8:10 on the 3rd floor.
8:20 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That sounds right.
Sean, is this conversation?
You have door entry info, right? They've got like electronic.
More than happy to give you all that information.
Kind of
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that
Is this conversation happening before we see the guy with the duffel bag, or after, or what?
It's probably, well, it's up to you. You could do it before.
I had an action I wanted to take with that dude.
Okay.
When we ended the last session,
Sure.
So I guess my preference would be that we're having that conversation and then we see him.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll hold fire until you want to do that part.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right. So, and is he talking to the bag itself, and he's an inmate?
No, he's staff.
It says an orderly.
He's
He's an orderly.
Mm-hmm.
He's a disorderly.
Nurse calls out, "Hello, Richard. Good day." He's like, he kind of startles and looks over and says, "Oh, hello." Nods, and then he grabs his bag and he starts to walk off.
Maya's going to break off from the rest of the group and just kind of go behind him. Not like she's catching him immediately. She wants to put some distance between herself and the doctor, so when she catches up to him, they'll have like 50 or 100 feet away type of thing.
Sure.
I'll turn and stop and ask the doctor one of these questions, but repeat to sort of slow him down, reading Maya's plan.
Okay.
Where does he head, Sean?
He's heading down the hallway. He's wanting to go the opposite direction, or the direction that you guys came from.
Okay. She'll still she's following him basically.
Okay.
And when she gets far enough away, she'll increase her pace so she gets up within like 5 feet behind him.
Sure.
And just say, "Excuse me, is it Richard?"
Yes, that's right. I'm Richard, and you are
Agent Maya. She puts her hand out so he can shake it.
Yeah, and he puts out his hand. Agent Maya, is it?
Well, we're here to investigate the disappearances.
Oh yes, the disappearances. Oh, of course. Yes.
Is this duffel bag open? Like she's presumed like right in front of him now, right? Shaking his hand. Is it zipped up? Is it open?
It is zipped up. Yeah.
Okay. So she straight up says, "What's in the bag, Richard?"
Oh, just gym stuff. I like to work out.
How big is this duffel bag?
It's a pretty decent sized duffel bag. It's probably, I don't know, 3 feet.
Do you mind if I take a look?
Oh, I don't think you need to do that. Is there a reason you like smelly socks and sneakers?
The reason is that there's quite a mystery here that we're trying to put together. A lot of puzzle pieces we don't understand. With the security you have in place for these 6 people to go missing. So I am just trying to get the lay of the land and understand how the staff operates. I would like to. She brings out her FBI badge, just as a bit of a flash, and says, "I would like to have a look in your bag, please."
Oh, well, he starts looking at the badge, rather diligently, and he's like,
Is there a problem with what's in the bag?
No, that's fine. That's fine. And then you hear you hear from the bag. It's not important to look in here.
Fuck. Am I rolling sanity?
Yeah, give me a sanity check.
Okay, fine. I haven't had a sheet up yet.
And Bryce kind of stops and he looks to see if you had heard it or not.
Who's Bryce? Is the guy's name Bryce?
Yes, I'm Richard Bryce. That's right.
Richard Bryce. So Sean, I failed. So what's the effect of that?
1 sanity. Actually, yeah, once. Oh, you failed?
I failed. Go 92.
Okay, just 1 san.
Okay. Fine. So when she hears that, hairs are up in the back of her neck, a little bit of tension in her back. Is the bag still in his hand?
Says, "I told you, you probably don't need to look inside it."
So she takes a step back from him, and her hand goes to her hip where she expects to find her firearm, and it's not there.
Right. He says,
and she's just like, "I need to see what's in the bag right now."
So he pulls the bag up to like his shoulder height, like pulls it up, and he goes, "Should we show her? Should we show her?"
Who are you talking to? Open the bag.
Well, okay. I mean, if you think that's wise, do you think we should do that?
Does she hear anything coming from the bag anymore, or is the bag moving?
Bag is not moving.
And is the bag big enough to put in like a child's body, a human body?
Not a human body. It's not 6 feet.
Okay, but it's like a 3 or 4 foot duffel bag. Yeah.
It's a good sized gym bag.
So you can get a kid in there, or if you saw it off the arms and legs, you can put a body in there. Yeah, I get it.
Or a leprechaun.
Yeah. So at this stage, she's not trying to not make a spectacle. So if Mantillo or I suppose Jerry, or if anybody else, they may notice this at this point. They're kind of having like a showdown, right? Where she's standing in front of him. And she's like, "Open the bag."
So I think the nurse would probably like, "Oh my, what's going on down there?" And the nurse starts walking towards you. And
I will walk with Edna.
Okay.
See what's going on.
Okay.
Diffuse Maya.
Esther, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Esther.
Jerry never gets the names right.
Why did I write Edna on here?
His books are full of mistakes.
You know.
Just because my character was Gale White.
He says, "Okay,
Is he
fine."
making-
he's like,
Maya, everything cool?
Do they get up to me before he does the zipper?
I'm talking as I'm walking up. I'm not next to you yet.
he
Maya, we good?
he puts the bag down and he says, "Go ahead, you can open it."
Step back against the wall, and she kneels and she unzips it.
Okay. And as you open it up, you look inside and you see what appears to be a small, long mummified body of a child. Give me a sanity check, Maya.
And is it moving, or does it seem to be like
It's just sitting there.
I feel like, unfortunately, the rest of us have gotten up there by now.
failed again,
So
Sean?
I'll,
Failed again.
Unless
Give me a D6 roll.
Creeping her out.
do we
D6.
do the same thing? Don't.
What? Hold on a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, one
only
point.
one, so I'll take. I was going to burn a bond, but I'm not going to waste a bond on that. I think the unzipping, and she's going to do one of these too, right? To expose it. And
Come on, not in the movies. The movies are always nice and slow and diligent, and the music's playing. Agent Maya just goes in there with her arm.
She's frustrated. She's spooked.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
what she does, undoes the zipper, and then she kind of looks in a little bit, and she probably sees like the shadows of like the face and the teeth.
Yeah, it's dark. Yeah,
And the bandit. She opens it wider, and then I think she jumps up from where she was, and it's just like, what the fuck? What is this? What do you have here, Doctor? She says down to Dallin.
and
What's going on in your hospital?
at this point, everybody kind of rushes down there. I'm sure,
Yes.
and you're there.
Yeah, I'm assuming we're there by the time she's getting it open, because it was, as he was saying, it was sort of a confrontation situation going on.
Indeed.
And he just says, "What? It's just something that it's just a friend of mine. It's just what?
Bryce saying this?
Yeah.
Can we see right into the duffel bag?
Well, I guess it depends on whether Maya like ripped it all open or just.
She didn't dump it out or anything,
Okay.
but I think when she opened it a little and was like, "What the hell?" and opened it wider. So if anybody's within 10 feet, they'll see
You
it.
could probably see it. Yeah.
I put my hand on her shoulder, which is totally out of my character because she might slug me. But I put my hand on her shoulder and Maya, is everything okay? I can tell she's shaking. I've never seen her like this before.
Right.
That's usually my job.
Right.
So Jerry, she gestures at the bag. She's like, "What? Look, what is this?"
What is what? I
Richard,
look right
Dr.
at the
Dallin.
guy.
Richard, what is going on here, Richard? Well, doctor, I mean, it's just, it's,
So I lean down and I look at it, and I know exactly what it is.
yeah, give me a sanity check.
Considering my background.
Give me a sanity check there, Mignon. Might as well throw one in there too, Mantillo.
Yeah, wow.
All right.
Not too many mummified children in bags you come across every day.
But I've seen lots of mummies, though, because I'm an
Oh,
anthropologist.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So right away, I'm not going to be like, oh, it's a mummy.
Yeah.
Should I still do a sanity check?
I will give you do a sanity check at a plus 20.
All right. I'll just roll it, and then
I will just barely.
there's no
fail
way to
that
add
one.
it on here right now. I'm just going to hit the thing.
And Tio failed. She had that monster.
So that would be
sanity.
Yeah.
All right. I pass anyway.
Jerry's good.
Well, you passed because of it.
Hey, wait a minute. So, Maya, I don't know if you take sanity. You're immune to violence, right?
Violence, but not the unnatural or whatever it's called.
It's against violence.
Because it's a natural. It's a natural thing. The mummy is, I suppose. The talking part of the mummy was unnatural.
Yeah, I didn't hear the mummy talk. I just see it as a mummy in the bag. It's weird.
Well, you all hear you.
I'm not going to say I haven't maybe seen a mummy in a duffel bag smuggled out of a country before.
Right.
You know, it was the 80s.
Trying to find out where I put her. What's it called? It's not adaptability nor adaption. It's adapted to violence. There you go.
Yeah. But I think that's if you see somebody shot or killed or
correct, or inflict violence yourself on someone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's all those rules around like injuring and killing people, and I don't think this is violence.
Well, that's.
Aren't there three things? There's violence. There's
helplessness is the
helplessness.
other one.
That's the other one.
Right,
and then
when you
unnatural.
take sanity checks.
Say again?
It will stipulate whether the sanity check is based on violence, unnatural, or right.
Yeah.
So this one is against violence. So I think if you are adapted to violence, then you don't take any, right? I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Well, you know what? It does say if you find a corpse. I'm sorry.
What do you mean if you find a corpse in violence?
That's an example of violence.
Under the violence, it says if you find a corpse or a mangled carcass, I guess a mummy could be a corpse.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything, right? If they fail the SAN.
Loses no SAN for...
If you are... Where's that section? Sorry.
Let me go to 73 quickly here.
Am I also on a D6 here for this mummy?
Yes, please. Unless you are adapted to violence.
No, I'm a mechanic.
Yeah. 2 points. Dose.
And incidents of SAN loss without going insane. Oh, I have not checked those, but there have not been very many, I don't think. But I will check this box next to violence here, because this is, I presume, an incidence of violence without going insane.
Yeah. You automatically succeed at that type of trauma. That's what it says.
So if there's a loss for success, then you would still lose, but you don't have to roll, I guess. Is maybe why they word it that way.
It makes sense.
So, Sean, finding the mummified corpse, the child, is, as I think, violence, as you said.
Yes.
Hearing the voice, though, probably not
take
violence.
Point of that. Well, you saved. Yeah. Did you save against that? You didn't save, right?
No, I failed.
I failed that too.
Yeah, you took 1 point.
I'll take one from hearing it, and then I'll get rid of the one that I lost for seeing it because I'm adapted.
Yes,
got it. I'm with you.
Yep.
What happens when you check your 3 boxes of incidents of SAN loss without going insane?
That's when you get adapted to that specific thing.
Oh, I'm damn close then, I think, because I have at least... I'm sure this is not my first SAN loss.
You become like the Joker, man. Violence, you just sit there and think it's like a Sunday at the movies.
Yeah. All right. Well, now that I've checked boxes, I'll keep checking them in the future, perhaps.
I like that. There is no adapting to the unnatural.
No.
That's right.
There is 0.
So you guys have a mummified child sitting in a duffel bag, and you have the orderly sitting there, and you guys are some of you are taken aback, some not so much.
I'm very curious.
So, yeah, I mean, Maya will kneel back down and zip it back up again, and she's going to take the bag and say,
you hear, thank you. All 3 of you.
I was just going to say she looks rapidly to Jerry and Mantillo.
Shit.
Like, did you all hear that?
So that must be a second roll.
Yeah, give me another roll for sanity,
right?
Mantillo and Mignon.
Yeah, this one's all good.
All right, that was a little weird.
Okay, take 1 point of sanity, Mignon.
Dr. Dallin, is there a security room or somewhere we can talk privately with with Bryce, Mr. Bryce?
I think we can find a room. Yes, for sure, of course.
Let's go there now.
What is this? What and
Does Bryce look like he's about to make physical trouble?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
And Tio's all cracking.
I'm on the alert for it just in case.
Yeah.
She cracks her knuckles.
Yeah.
No, I'm moving. I've got my balance. I've got my arms spread. I'm ready. I might crack my knuckles.
I just want Maya to give me the bag so I can look at the mummy.
Well, it's zipped back up now.
Yeah.
Which is why I said thank
I
you.
put my arm out like I want to take it.
Bryce goes to reach for it at the same time. So I can carry it.
Hey, no.
Well, it's my bag.
But it was your bag.
What do you mean it was my bag? It's my bag. You're going to take my bag?
Let's go into a room and we'll discuss
I fumbled
this. Jerry.
for my FBI badge that I decided not to bring with me.
He's like, hey, look,
Maya,
look, Jimmy
show her the
Buffett,
badge.
it's my bag.
I take the bag. If Maya, I try to grab it on Maya's just to keep Maya between him and me because I know Maya can handle him. If you'll let me grab
This guy's pretty fit. Like he's
Dr. Dallin, do you
the doctor gets involved too, of course. He's like, hey, let's Richard, just everybody calm down.
Maya lets Jerry take the bag. She's like, be careful with this. Let's take it to a room.
I'm not acting weird. I'm like, I just let you handle with the guy.
Let's go.
So,
all right, this way we can find a room, and they go down the hallway and they find a small conference room that they have up on this floor, and they swipe the badge, and everybody walks in.
Remind me, would our badges have gotten us into that door, or not on the third floor?
That's the admin wing.
In the common areas, your badges would be fine.
But this is probably the men's ward we're in.
Correct.
Third floor.
Okay.
Because okay. So
is the nurse coming with us also, or is it just Dr. Dallin and she has important things to do?
No, the nurse and the doctor come with, and then the nurse calls for one of the individuals to come up. Given the situation, she calls down and asks for one of the guards to come up.
Is Bryce there, or is he waiting outside?
Oh, he's coming with you. He's like, you got my bag.
It's his bag.
Well, that's up to
he's going to get questioned. That's what's going to happen.
He's like, oh, I would. He probably wouldn't leave his bag. He's like, I got my, where are you going with my bag? And Dr. Dallin's trying to calm him down. Just calm down, Richard. We just want to understand what's going on here.
So when all six of us are in the room, Maya piggybacks on what Dallin's saying. She's like, yes, just tell us what's going on. Maybe you haven't done anything wrong. She's kind of a little more collected now. We want to know what this is about, if it's connected to what happened. So have a seat and tell us what's going on.
While they do that, I'm clearing a spot, like on a desk, a table, whatever's there, a countertop. I'm going to start to open the bag.
Okay. And as you start opening the bag, you hear a voice that says, you should leave him alone. He hasn't done anything wrong.
And only I can hear this, right?
Yeah.
They're all dealing with him.
Just you. Well, as far as you can tell, you don't know. I mean, you're just, how would you know if you're the only one hearing it? I do a quick
look, and they're too busy grilling Bryce. As I sit there.
Right, as that voice says something, Bryce looks at you, Mignon.
I don't think we want to hurt him. We just want answers.
He's innocent. He hasn't done anything wrong. He just works here.
Nobody said he's guilty of anything.
Are you talking out loud?
And then I am. I'm whispering.
You guys hear Mignon talking.
But then I realize it. Then I'm like, I'm talking to a mummy.
You guys hear Mignon mumble something.
When I look at this mummy, Do I have to roll, or can I make a roll to see, like, is this like an ancient mummy? Is this a newly mummified body?
Got some archaeology, don't you?
I got a whole bunch.
Yeah. Well, why don't put
Finally,
that?
you
Put
get a
that.
roll
I think he
some.
does.
I got a whole
Might as well
bunch.
put it to use.
Archaeology flex.
Nothing like playing Delta Green with skills you never got.
That's
Look at
what I'm
that.
talking about. See?
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
So,
Maya, I know what this is.
you probably
No, you don't.
you definitely know it's a long mummified, right?
Okay.
It's not
It's not like somebody did a weird thing
no,
recently. Okay.
and it's probably not Egyptian in nature necessarily, but it
Okay.
does have some uniqueness to it that you find intriguing. It's not typical 1960s mummy or 1920s. This thing could be fairly old. And it's
Okay.
not, I mean, the American culture isn't into mummies and mummification necessarily, but yeah, so it's odd. It's a bit odd to you specifically because of your
So even
work.
better than my archaeology is my anthropology.
Yes.
So I'm going to see if I could figure out what culture this is from.
Okay.
Good enough.
Culture wise. Okay. It's not one that you could identify based
Okay.
on the mummy wrapping, although you can assume based on your anthropology. You got archaeology, right?
Yeah, that's what I rolled for first. Yeah.
And archaeology that it's not something you've seen before in your studies and research.
Okay.
It is.
And I also know Russian and Armenian, and that's where I did most of my work.
It's not Russian or
So
Armenian. It has no weird accent necessarily.
No Cyrillic writing anywhere.
No.
Okay.
No. But it is it's unique. So you're not sure if it's just something that is a specific to this specimen. Like, did they wrap it in a particular way because of the status of the individual? But it's probably.
So it's definitely a child, right? I definitely know it's a
definitely a child. Yep.
Okay. So I am very intrigued. Why the whispering is not bothering me, I think, has a lot to do with my depersonalization, where I'm not here right now. I'm kind of watching this happen. So it's not as strange. It's almost like watching a TV show that
Right.
This is almost. So I will definitely, I will lean in. Again, it's not moving, so I'm not scared of it.
Right.
And I know it's a mummy, and I'm just like, where you from, little buddy?
Okay. All right. Maya and Mantillo, what are you doing?
Yeah. So Jerry, just so you know, so
You just see me like leaning into the bag, like.
Archaeology will be for dead cultures, and anthro will be for living cultures. Is the way that works.
Yes.
So, you don't recognize it from the past or for current, etc. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
Are we hearing him over in the corner?
Well, I guess that may depend upon the ruckus you two might or may not be making.
Mantillo, whatever you want to do, but I have a feeling that Maya's going to get right to questioning Bryce about. Why do you have that here? Where's it from? What is that thing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm basically just here to back up Maya at this point. I'm not worried about Jerry getting mauled by a mummy. So
Jerry's doing his own thing. The camera pans. We're talking, and it pans down.
More specific. I'm not worried about Jerry being mauled ever.
right,
there is that.
True.
It's karma.
Anyway. So unless Bryce sort of makes a move for his bag, then I think there's whatever 10 feet of distance, however big the room is.
So I would say, Mantillo, you probably hear Mignon like whispering. Like you got Maya in one ear and Mignon in the other. And you vaguely
Right.
hear Mignon mumbling something or whispering something, and probably a relatively hushed tone.
That's normal.
Fair.
Right.
And then Maya.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I hear the mummy talking, that's something. But if I
Yeah.
hear him talking to the mummy, that seems like perfectly, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Same old,
Sure.
I
same
talk to
old.
motorcycles all day long.
Right. And Bryce is like, I don't know what the problem is. He stares at you like blank, like psycho killer not here, no blinking.
Why did you bring archaeological remains to the hospital?
Archaeological remains. I just brought my bag.
What's inside your bag?
I don't know. I thought it was my gym clothes.
It's not. It's a mummy like from a museum display,
Hmm.
and it's in your duffel bag in the middle of a mental hospital.
That is odd.
It is.
How do you suppose it got there?
She turns and looks at Dallin and the nurse and says, "Is he always like this, or is this unusual
Richard, are
behavior
you
for
okay?
him?"
You seem a little out of sorts. I feel fine. I'm a little perturbed about my bag, going about my business, but I think I'll get over it. See,
Where were you going with your bag just now? Oh, sorry, Sean. Go ahead.
he's innocent. He hasn't done anything.
No, no one is saying he has done anything.
Why are your friends persecuting him?
It's just we're not used to this.
Mantillo,
I've
you hear
I've seen
Mignon.
people like you.
Mantillo, you hear Mignon.
And what? Never mind.
I'm just trying to find out where he's from,
Hey. Mantillo, you hear hey.
and I say it like totally normal, like I'm
Right,
talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Mantillo, you hear hey. Leave him alone. He's innocent.
Ooh, what?
He hasn't done anything.
I'm looking around for somebody talking to me.
Maya doesn't hear it, right, Sean?
So when it's like to Mantillo, I don't hear it. It's just to Mantillo.
Yeah, it's just a Mantillo.
Okay.
Tell your
Yeah, I don't.
Tell your friend to leave him alone.
Who? What?
Tell your friend to leave him alone.
Who? I'm looking for the person who's doing the what's it called, the dummy ventriloquism. Yeah.
So as this is occurring, Bryce looks at Mantillo, just looks at him.
Richard, Mr.
Is that
Bryce.
you, Richard?
Yes. Is it who? Me.
You were talking to your bag earlier.
Yes. I was asking what we should do today.
Yeah. Who were you asking?
Well, I was asking the child.
Yeah. What child is that?
The child in the bag. You're in the same room I am, Agent.
All right. So this child in the bag, the one that you thought only had your gym clothes in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the one we're talking about that you brought in here. Yeah. Where is this
the
child
one
from?
right here in the bag.
That's right.
This one. That's the one he's talking
Where is
about.
the child from?
A long ways away. Comes from a land called Carcosa. At least that's what it told me.
I see. And when did it get into your bag?
Oh, I'm not quite sure.
Today, the first day that you have talked to it?
I think I've talked to it before.
Okay, you just don't remember for sure?
No. No,
All
I'm
right.
not sure.
Yeah, that seems likely. And does it have a name that it shared with you?
No.
Did you ask?
No.
And what did it want to do today?
Well, it never got a chance to respond till it was taken away from me.
Ah, I see. Yeah, and you're sad about that. I take it, huh?
Why is he asking all these questions? Mignon, you here?
I assumed. Um, we just want to make sure everything's okay. It's not every day. It's not every day that we have a person such as you talking to us. Now, being an author, could I see if I know what he refers to as Carcosa?
Hmm.
See if it rings a bell.
Um. Oof. I suppose.
I don't know what kind of check that would be, unless it would just be a knowledge check, intelligence check. I
Sure.
don't know.
It
So I'll
times
just
5.
okay. I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm not
Oh.
really. Eight, a critical
It's in
failure.
New Jersey.
Yeah, it's New Jersey. Some guy,
I'm pretty-
Lou lives.
So
Yeah.
is
Carcosa, this chicken joint
is-
that I like.
is that
Chicken
that
joint.
place? Is that place from that Fleetwood Mac song? I'm pretty sure. I thought that's what they said. No? All right. I'm not sure.
No,
I don't know.
it's where the king lives. It's where the king lives.
Oh, it's an Elvis song, not a Fleetwood Mac song.
Not that king you told.
So Jerry's talking this whole time by himself, right? To us.
Yeah, so Maya, you might
Right.
even check this, see this at this point since you're not talking to Bryce actively.
Well, Maya's pissed off because she was grilling Bryce and he wasn't giving her anything. It was just gym clothes. And then suddenly Mantillo gets a whole flood of information. So Maya's kind of sitting back like, what the?
Suddenly Mantillo is completely useless at people skills.
In fact, I think she just kind of shakes her head. She sees Jerry in the conversation he's having. But she says, Richard, Mr. Bryce, do you know what happened to the 6 inmates who are missing?
I don't. Isn't that what you're here for?
It is. And we're just trying to put all the pieces together so we can find out and help them.
Maybe your friend knows.
Maybe. Have you tried asking her?
It's a she?
I don't know for sure. I like to think so, but
Sure.
she has
I bet you
she
do.
has a soft voice, or it has a soft voice. So I just thought it might be female.
Hey, Carcosa person.
Maya, are you grabbing this?
You're gonna talk.
Maya, are you picking up what's getting put down here?
She is.
Okay.
She's just watching.
Go ahead, Mantillo.
Carcosa person. Do you have a name that we can use?
Many names.
Pick one. Pick one if you would. Just, if you don't mind.
It, I guess, says, Geisen. You can call me Geisen.
Geisen. Excellent. So some folks went missing here a few days ago. Were they friends of yours too?
No, not friends.
But you know them?
No, not necessarily.
You know what I'm talking about, though. I mean,
No.
no. Huh. All right. And what about Abigail? Do you remember Abigail? You might not have seen her for a while.
Abigail.
Yeah, she's a painter, a sculptor, an artist.
Now you get like Maya, you see Mantillo saying this. You don't hear anything else.
Right.
Okay.
What are Dallin and the nurse doing?
They're like looking at Mantillo oddly, like, what is going on? Who's he talking to?
Maya's going to draw those two away. She's going to keep one eye on Bryce to make sure he's not going to like jump out of his chair.
Sure. He
But
seems
she's going to draw
calm.
While Mantillo's talking, you can continue with that conversation. But she's basically going to say to the doctor, "Is this typical? Has he been having problems?" She's going to try to get some background on Bryce while Mantillo's doing that.
And as that is kind of as you're like, hey, can you, is this, is he typically like this? And they're like, no, he seems a little out of sorts. He doesn't. I mean, it's a little peculiar, but having a mummified child in a gym bag obviously causes great concern.
He's not fit for duty.
No,
just so we're clear.
Of course, we're going to probably take him in right after you're done talking to him.
So he may become violent when he's removed from the presence of his gym bag that he wants so badly.
Yes.
Be aware.
Right. Hey, why don't you just let him go? He hasn't done anything.
Who's getting this?
You are this time, Maya.
She turns and looks at the bag is open, right? But the mummy's not out on the table, correct, Jerry?
No, I didn't take.
So she's going to walk down to the other end of the table where it's laying out, and she's going to lean over and look at the thing's face, and she's going to say, "Don't talk to me." You understand me? I don't want to hear from you.
Maya, relax. It's fine.
It's Jerry.
Such hostility.
Mignon. It's not fine.
It will be fine, I think. There's nothing dangerous here.
She looks at Mantillo and Jerry and says, "Find out where this thing was having him take it." And then she walks back down to the nurse and Dallin.
I lean in and I say, I probably don't have to repeat that.
Yeah, you hear.
Do you have an answer?
I am done talking unless you let him go.
Like we've got ourselves a classic hostage bargaining situation here.
Yes, classic one, yes. Textbook.
If we let him go, will you continue to talk
with
to
the mummy?
Yes.
Okay. Maya. Our friend here says if we let Bryce go, they will continue talking to us.
We're not letting Bryce go. Bryce is sick.
I look back at the mummy.
The doctor is like intensely watching you guys. Like he like wants his notepad in front of him and a pen, and he's just like trying to take all this in. Like what?
Maya, it's hard for me to be convinced that he is sick.
Why do you say that?
Well, look at me. Look at Jerry. Look at you. I mean, something's happening here, and it's not happening in Richard. What's his name?
Dallin.
Richard.
Nope.
Bryce.
Richard Bryce.
In Bryce's head. It's happening. Right? Whatever it is, it's happening. I don't like it and you don't like it. Jerry loves it, but it's happening.
I noticed that Dallin is questioning everything and probably not believing what he's seeing. There's a bunch of federal agents talking to a thing in the gym bag.
Well, he knows something.
But
We know that.
what I would like to do is I would like to roll my human and realize that I might need to track this, and I want to go over there and tell him, hey, look, we have some training on dealing with psychotic people. We try to play their game just to get them in to try to, and then to get him off of us thinking that we are nuts or that we have problems.
Does that persuade?
I think it would be my human.
You're trying to
He
get
says-
somebody to do something?
I am.
Convincingly.
I am.
I think you're trying to persuade, buddy.
Can I? I just want him to think that, I don't want him to think that we're just all of a sudden loopy.
The doctor?
Yeah.
All right,
We're
go
gonna
ahead.
stop
I
talking
want
to the damn
him to
mummy.
think we're playing a game with Bryce.
Sure.
Game's afoot.
Okay. He's like, huh. It's very odd. He takes it in, but being a professional psychiatrist for as many years as he's been, seems perplexed at the approach. But
So here, look, we've done a couple seminars
Sure.
with the BAU. The
Look, we're
behavioral
ranking
analysis unit.
amateurs and you're a professional. So let me
Yeah, the
tell you what we're
behavioral
you
doing.
analysis
took a
unit.
class on a weekend.
So listen, see?
We had to get our 6 hours in.
That's right.
I'm
That's right.
sure we're not doing this right.
I still need
but
2 credits.
You can critique us when we're done and let us know.
Okay.
And then I look over like Maya, Mantillo, wink. I think just make sure you play along with we're just having a go at this.
Maya gives a completely insincere, yeah, he's right. But she will say, Dr. Dallin, will you walk with Mr. Bryce outside? I have something I want to check. Perhaps we could take him to one of the rooms we haven't seen yet. In her head, what she's trying to do, she wants to try to separate Bryce from the thing to see if his mind clears up or if he's even willing to leave the room. But
Okay.
she's playing it off as let's the 3 of us, or maybe even with the nurse, go for a stroll and look at one of those rooms. And she's trying to play the connection between the people who disappeared and what's going on here.
Sure. All right. So so you go. So Maya is leaving with Bryce and the doc. Is that the plan?
Yes. And maybe Samagina, she's coming.
Okay.
Whatever she's doing.
Okay. And then Mantillo and Minyang are going to stay.
I'm assuming that I'm sort of still trying to have this conversation with the mummy there.
They're on babysitting duty.
Okay. Got it.
She's trying. This is twofold. She's also trying to get them some privacy so they can talk to the freaking thing before we light it on fire.
All right.
Don't think it can speak to you in your mind. Please don't think those things. I'm in the room.
Maya's
not
thinking
you.
these things.
Always.
Well, then it knows. It knows.
All right. So the doctor and the nurse and Bryce, Bryce, maybe we can go to another room. And Bryce is like, fine, but I want my bag back. And,
In time.
and he's, that's fine. He's good with that. He means back as in eventually I want my bag back. He doesn't need
You'll
it.
get your bag back.
Yeah. Okay.
She says nothing about the contents, but
All right. Okay. So, Maya and the crew leave the room and the door closes, and you, Mignon, and Mantillo are in a room with a duffel bag and that contains an unidentified mummified child.
Again, not somewhere I haven't been before.
True, fair.
So
I keep thinking to myself,
just-
for you, it's not a
just
big
never-
deal.
It just never talked to me.
I was going to say the talking part is a thing, but yeah.
There was this weird hash in this one time, but I thought everything was talking to me.
And these 4 individuals leave, and you never see Maya again.
Oh, you know what? But I got a book with a picture of her in it, so I can see her whenever I want.
Oh, I think you gave it back.
I did not.
It disappeared.
I definitely did not.
Definitely something happened to it. I don't remember what.
Why don't we take a break? Quick.
Perfect.
We'll do like a
Yes.
bio
Okay.
break, get something to drink, and then we'll come back and figure out how Maya's going to deal with Bryce and how you guys are going to deal with this duffel bag and mummified child. So the party splits up.
Yes, we're splitting the party,
You know it.
which you're supposed to do in Delta Green.
We actually just substituted one person in our party for the duffel bag. That's all we did. Right?
That's right.
Me, Mantillo, and Mummy Baby.
Mummy baby. Next scene is you guys like going to the drive-through with the mummy in between you. Thinking,
Weekend at Bernie's, Delta
Yes.
Green, and the mummy baby.
Excuse me, Dr. Dallin, do you have a car seat?
and mummy baby. I actually said, "Is the duffel bag big enough to put a child in?"
Yes.
So it's like,
I
yes,
did,
it
and
is.
Yeah.
It turns out it's exactly that size.
He's
It
like,
is that size.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was already talking. Like it's not that big a stretch there.
I
Yeah.
was going with Leprechaun, but that's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Maya, you're going down the hallway. You're going with Bryce, the doctor, and the nurse.
Yeah. Ostensibly to one of the rooms we haven't seen yet that had an inmate that escaped. Right.
Okay.
So she can do double duty here. Get a look at the room
Is
and
there
see how Bryce is.
is there a particular person's room that you want to see from the list, or do you just want me to pull one up?
Give me a second.
There's T. Howe, Lila Mack.
Let's go to Ray's. Let's go to Ray's room.
Ray's room.
Ray Billabass.
Ray Billabas,
Yep.
yes. All right. Doctor takes you around a corner, goes down a hallway, and there is a room with a door that's secure, and the nurse pulls out some keys, opens up the door, and this is Ray Billabas's room. Ray was a U.S. postal inspector for, I believe it was 15-ish years, and then I believe he was also a member of the IRS for 15 years and retired from government service. I think he was about 65 at the time. Yeah. He was born in 1950, if I'm not mistaken.
Who's saying this, Sean?
The doctor.
And is he right? Because I have him as 46 years old and an Army officer.
Oh, did I?
So I'm trying to figure out if Maya's like, "Are you bullshitting me right now?"
Shit,
Or
man.
if you, Sean, it's late on a on a
Oh,
Tuesday
you know
night.
what?
That was
I know what
proof off, right?
So there's the book in my notes, and I got mine missed actually. So I'll have to recoup my notes. So that's fine. What you have down is accurate.
Okay, African American gentleman, former Army officer, 46 years old. That's actually all I had.
I believed he came from Baltimore, Maryland. And he'd been with us he looks at the nurse and she's like, I believe it was 7 years. That's 7 years, I believe. He's like, yep, that sounds about right.
It's a long time.
Yeah. Well, we have people here that stay here for a long time.
You're going to get your notes later so we can tell what incident first landed him here. What was the cause of his PTSD?
Yes, I can look into that and get you some of those details.
So Two things, Sean. What's the inside of the room look like, and what is Bryce doing? Does he look like, or is his gaze any clearer? Does he seem a little less head in the clouds, kind of thing?
He's a peculiar guy. You get kind of a weird feeling from him, but he's not. He's not agitated. He's fairly calm, and he stands outside the room across the hall with his back up against the wall as he kind of waits and just leans there calmly.
Maya will step out and say, "Bryce, can you come in?" She doesn't want him like being out of sight.
Okay, fair enough. He walks into the room.
She says, "Bryce, do you hear anything in here?"
No, I don't hear anything. Why? I don't. Of course, there's nothing in here.
Just curious. She's going to do a cursory search, like just check bedside table. If there's I don't know how Spartan these are, because these people are supposed to be a danger to themselves, right?
Correct.
So there's probably not much in the room.
No, not much at all. So it's trying to think. The sheets look disheveled. They didn't touch them, and the nurse says we didn't touch the sheets or anything, but we kept them the same in case there was any questions that would come up.
Windows untouched, doors not jimmied.
No,
nothing. No marks on the wall.
The windows you notice they're not able to be opened.
Right. Are the bars on this side or the outside?
Outside.
Okay. And the window itself doesn't open as well.
Does not open.
Gotcha. Is there a drop ceiling in here, or what's the ceiling like?
It'd be probably plastered over concrete.
Okay, so it's
smooth.
It's solid. It's not like drywall or anything.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you want to switch back to the other two, you certainly can. But Maya's idea was to see if that much distance helped the dude's mental clarity, but it appears to not have, right?
Yeah, he seems to be in the same. He's presents himself the same way. There's no difference. He's not talking to anybody. He seems calm. So you don't really see any difference from his.
So one more question before we break. And I can see her down with it. She got a little flash, little pen light out that she carries, looking under the bed, kind of thing. She just kind of is making conversation, and just says, "Bryce, do you remember yet where you first found the object that was in your duffel bag, and where you left your gym clothes?"
Says, "No, I don't remember. It could have been a year ago. Could have been a few days ago. I don't recall."
It doesn't seem strange to you that you don't remember?
No.
Okay. So he seems the same.
He does, yeah. And the funny thing is he doesn't even think what he says is weird.
Right.
It's just, I could have
Yep.
been in there for a year. Could have been in there for a few months. I don't know.
All right. One final thing. She'll quietly say to the doctor, any chance he's got medication that he's not taking or anything?
I don't believe so. We usually screen our staff pretty well, and unless something's changed with him that I'm not aware of, which is possible, but I plan on taking him aside and probing a little bit deeper into his situation.
Okay. She'll go to Tommen's room next, but go ahead and do some mummy action before you do that.
All right. So Mantillo and Mignon in the conference room with the duffel bag and a mummified child. What could possibly go wrong?
Yes, that's right. Cheers, everyone.
So I think I'm still like 10 feet away or whatever. I don't have any reason to go over there because we've been having a perfectly fine conversation.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, and I guess I've also been getting the impression that only one side of the conversation is being heard. So I'm going to I'll keep talking to it. I think I'm not trying to remember what I didn't write down what it said its name was though. Dice?
Geisen.
Dice?
Geisen.
Geisen. There we go. Geisen. So Richard's left now, and I think you were gonna maybe talk to us a little bit about the folks that are missing, or
So
Abigail
I hear
Wright.
Mantillo talking out loud 10 feet away from me.
You do.
I'm like,
Oh yeah.
I'm like, Mantillo, it's like right here. Like you can.
Good, thanks. So you were waiting to talk until we let Richard go, and Richard's gone.
Silence.
What do you have to say?
Silence overwhelms the room.
Huh. Well, I suppose if you want to just act like a little kid and hide up inside yourself, that's fine. I don't really care.
Please don't pay any attention to Mantillo.
It's all yours.
She's had a rough day.
I mean, well, I don't know. I suppose I don't know. What do we do? Dispose of dead bodies, right? I mean, if it's not talking, it's a dead body.
Stop with the dispose stuff.
Why
Chill
stop
out.
with the dispose stuff? It's a dead body.
She doesn't mean it. She doesn't mean it. I have like one more question. Do you know, like, are the people that were here okay? Because I'm truly concerned. I have concern for them. Do you know?
There's no response.
All right. Well, I guess we'll burn it. Seems like a safe thing to do. I mean, it might have germs or something.
I zip the bag up.
I wink at you. I wink at you, and I have no thought that you will ever, like, it will go through your thick skull. But I try it.
No, I just zip it up, and I look at Mantillo. And
good. It's ready to go. Excellent. All right. Yeah, let's go. Let's go down to the burn room. It's got to be one in the basement here.
All right, you guys going to leave the room with the bag?
Yep.
Okay, you get outside the room. You're in a hallway. There's a corner down to the left, and then there's the back the way you came, in the wider open hall.
Does this duffel bag look like an issued duffel bag that would be from this place that I might be able to find another one of?
No, it's actually a little unusual that it's even up on the third floor.
Seems weird that it's here. Yeah, I'm shocked that he got it through, like, out of the security out of the area where the lockers are.
So I'm still whispering, like,
yes,
person in the bag is not going to hear me, but whatever. And I'm whispering to Mantillo, Bryce is expecting his bag back.
Right? Oh yeah, we give him his bag. I don't mind. We don't need to burn the bag.
No, but we need to, like, put something in here and give him his bag back, and then put what's in here in a different bag.
Sure, well, let's go down to the lockers. Right, that's on the first floor of the center wing, probably, where the staff comes in and changes.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find the locker room. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's part of our pass should get us there. Let's go down to the locker room. In fact, we should go to the locker room anyway, because we should look at we should look around there and see what. It doesn't matter, but yeah, we should go down to the locker room. We'll find a bag.
Mantillo, why don't you text Maya to let her know where we're going?
Sure. I'll text Maya. Headed to find some gym clothes to put in the bag, and then possibly to the burn room.
The whole time we're going to be going down to this locker room, I am mentally asking the person in the bag questions, just hoping eventually it will respond. I'm being very, sorry about the hassle. Don't worry about Bryce, and I'm just happy thoughts. Happy thoughts.
Sean, let me know when I can text back.
I mean, if they texted you when they said they did, you get the text that says that they're going to head down to what they're doing.
She texts back and says, "Be careful with that thing. It's definitely got some kind of control over Bryce, and we don't know. Maybe someone else, maybe other people in the facility as well." And then
Stop talking.
a second text. You say, "Stop talking."
Yeah.
She says, "Don't burn it."
I say, yep.
I mean it.
I didn't burn that hotel or that apartment building.
She says it might be our only clue so far as to what's going on.
No, I got you. Smiley face.
That's right.
Wink.
Maya does the winking emoji. Like wings tonight.
The winking and then this one.
It's I'm gonna turn.
Yeah. And then flames.
It's very hot turn coming your way.
So as Mantillo and Mignon kind of go down the hallways of the third floor in an effort to make their way down, I would imagine, you do come across another individual. Only this time it looks like they're in patient's clothes. Kind of identifies them as a patient, and it looks
Alone?
like he's alone. Yeah. Yep.
That's a problem.
Cheers.
And
I will stop and let Mantillo go first.
I will also stop and I will text up to Maya and I'll say, seems to be an unaccompanied patient here. You might want to let Doc Dallin know. We're at room 112 or wherever we are.
yeah, probably 312.
Oh, we're still up on the third floor?
Still on the third floor?
Yeah, this is on the third floor. As you're
I thought we were
on the
down
third
here.
floor,
Okay.
making your way down, you pass or you come upon what looks to be a patient.
Yeah, and then I'll look up from my phone and say, "Oh, hi! I didn't see you there. How you doing?"
It's a good day.
Excellent. Are you work here?
He looks at his attire and he says, I'm
With
not
his
sure.
back hanging in the breeze? Yeah, I work here.
Yeah.
This way.
He's a young guy, and he looks probably early 20s, and says, "Do I look like I work here?"
Well, it's just because you're out in the hall here on your own. I figured either you work here or seems like you're not. I thought folks weren't supposed to be wandering around the halls unaccompanied.
Yeah, it's usually a thing like that, but I've been here a little while, and let's just say it's a little loose. I still have restrictions. Don't worry. I can't get off the floor, so.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried at all. You know, it seems totally. I mean, I'm just here. Hey, did you know? And I'm sort of doing this a little slowly because I already sent that text to Maya. Did you know?
She's en route, Sean.
Kim Pleslad?
Kim Pleslad?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's another wing, but I kind
Sure, of course. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, sort of. Why?
Well, just because. Well, you know that she's not here anymore, right?
Yeah, I heard a few people are no longer here.
Yeah, I mean that's good news. I assume, right? I mean, folks get better and leave, right?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
If it's not rude, how long have you been here for?
Oh, me? I've been here for a few years. I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
Oh, sorry. I'm Mantillo. This is. Hey, do you like books?
Yeah, he's carrying what appears to be a brown leather notebook with him.
Hey, you're a writer?
I like to take notes. Journal.
Hey, Jerry, you should talk to this guy. He's a famous author.
Oh yeah? What?
Yeah.
I have the bag.
Oh, you
I'm
have
not
it.
even
Hold on.
holding it by the
Why are
handles
you
anymore.
carrying it like a mother? Why are you doing?
I'm just.
Ugh.
I was gripping it this way because in case I had to just run with the bag once I saw the patient.
Mhm.
Yes, writing is kind of my thing. What do you? I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, my name's Ed.
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 So,
I will follow up a text real quick while Gary there is talking. Oh, nice. With just Ed, because that's all we have so far.
yes, Ed. What do you like to write? Fiction,
Well,
nonfiction.
I kind of take notes. I'm not really an author, but I
Okay.
take kind of journal notes in my journal, and it's kind of
You take like daily notes.
oh yeah, daily notes. Like I like to take notes of things. People, when I run into people, I like to get to know them and jot a few things down so I remember them the next time.
Oh, Ed. Well, feel free to open it up and start jotting down.
Really?
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's like, so
absolutely.
is that like Mantillo? And then your name was Jerry?
My name is Jerry.
Jerry. Huh. Okay.
And then-
What's your last name?
Jerry Gladstone.
Jerry Gladstone. Oh,
I
okay.
can sign it for you if you want.
Well, oh no, that's not necessary. I mean, it's okay.
I could send you a copy of my book here.
Sure. I mean,
Attention, Ed. What?
Ed Myler. Ed Myler West. Yeah, Ed West.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a problem. Have you heard of any of my books by any chance?
I'm not sure. Can you tell me a little bit about them?
Well, my newest one, you probably didn't get it yet. It's Don't Go Up the Stairs.
Don't go up the stairs.
What about
Okay.
Clockwork Little Lady or Clown in the Park?
Clown in the Park. No, doesn't ring a bell, but he
No.
jots it down
No.
quick. He's like, let me get that
Okay,
down
excellent.
quick. Yeah.
Do I see anything else jotted down in what he opened in the book?
It looks like if you could see well enough and decipher his handwriting, it looks
I
like
definitely was over his shoulder when I was like,
yeah,
it's
it looks like just
Gladstone,
names.
Glad.
It looks like names of people and different details. Like he says, so what? You guys aren't patients. You're not staff. What are you guys doing here?
And I just looked at Mantillo because I'm lost already.
We were.
Is that a trick question?
Yeah. What do I get as a sense for, like, they didn't go very far. So am I hearing footsteps? Is there like what's happening in terms of the fact that that Maya's rushing towards us apparently?
Maya, are you running to the two that are talking to a patient, Maya?
with finger
Well,
guns.
I assume that she told Dr. Dallin.
Correct. She's not rushing, but she would have said, I think there's a patient loose. I'm picturing them, Sean, being like on their way to that second room and then diverting, like heading back towards, but not running, but moving just briskly.
Looking down every like cross hallway for someone in a gown.
Well, no, I said where we were.
Yeah.
I gave a room number.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did.
She'll head there.
So the doctor says, I'm going to attend to Bryce. Nurse, if you could accompany Agent Maya. And the nurse like, oh, yes, absolutely, doctor. No problem. And he's, Bryce, let's head off this way, Bryce. He's like, sure thing,
Right.
Doc.
So I'll answer Ed and I'll say, yeah, so we're consultants. We've been asked to just sort of get a sense of how people are treated here, how safe it is for you all. And, it's nice that we ran into you. How do people treat you here?
Treat me fine. Yeah.
Doctor and all that?
Oh, yeah.
You get to hang out with some of the other patients?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I knew some of the folks that you're referring to. And
Sure,
then
yeah.
Maya, you come around the corner and you see Mantillo and Mignon talking to this young male individual. Looks like a patient. He's got a leather brown book and he's got a pencil and he's writing a couple things down and he's got soon as he writes something down, he clasps it in his hands and he says,
So,
"Yeah,
Ed,
I knew I knew the individuals that disappeared.
Well, what'd you think of them?
I mean, they were good people. They seemed fine to me.
Nothing stand out. Did you write anything down about any of it? I bet you thought that who was so there was Leela. There's two women, right? Leela and Kim.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Was one of them okay? So I you never sent us the thing, and I didn't write it all down. But is one of them sort of younger than the other?
I'm sure.
I mean, yes, one of them's younger.
Lila's 28. Kim
Okay,
is
so I'll ask
37.
about Lila. So what did you write down about Lila? Was she cute?
I mean, she was fairly attractive, I guess. I mean,
You put some notes on about her?
well, I'd rather not go into detail, but what
I'm just curious.
is there like a, I mean, aren't they missing? Isn't there? And that's a peculiar question for somebody that's like.
I think what Mantillo is just asking is on the day that everyone is disappeared, is no longer here. Can you just let us know what you wrote? Maybe something will will
No,
help.
I don't need to look up what I wrote. I know what happened. They vanished.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Sean, as
thin air vanished.
Then he looks at Maya as you walk up. You walk up, Maya?
So when Maya left the doctor,
yeah,
she would have said quietly, "Be careful with him. He might be dangerous, but he's not himself." And then she's going to leave.
He says, "I appreciate that."
And then as they're approaching Ed, talking to Mantillo in the hallway, before they get close enough, she's going to ask Samagina and say, "Is he supposed to be out alone?"
Ed, he's okay. We do have. I mean, despite all the restrictions that are in place, he's going to be limited to where he can go. So it's not.
Why is he on the third floor?
Well, Ed's still. The people on the third floor are still a danger. We can't let them go beyond until we feel comfortable that they are not.
Maya's dissatisfied with that answer, but she just nods. And I think you said, Sean, as she's walking up, he's saying, "I know what happened."
Yeah.
And they vanished.
Yeah. It's like they vanished.
So, are you going to vanish?
Poof, like a camera trick. Poof. He goes like that. He goes,
poof. Are you going to vanish?
No, I don't think so.
You know how they did it?
No. He says it was strange. Like the restraints on the beds were still secured and the doors were still locked, even after they vanished.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool.
Maya's like behind him. She's like, "How do you know that?
Oh.
Did you see their rooms?"
He says, I have my own agents. I got eyes and agents everywhere.
Bet you do.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. And he reaches out to shake your hand.
She shakes and she says, "I'm Maya."
Maya. Where are you from, Maya?
New Mexico.
So what branch are you all from? Are you FBI or special detectives?
She briefly brings out her badge and says, "Yeah, FBI, but we also have some special consultants with us." She just kind of gives Jerry a little bit of a nod. Mantillo, I think you have a badge too, don't you? Yeah.
So you pull out your badge and show it to him?
She does, but she doesn't hand it to him. She just does a flash.
It's like,
so he sees the shield, sees the big blue FBI.
Oh, that's a neat badge.
We're helping with these people that maybe you know a little bit about.
I mean, I would meet them on occasion and see them. I thought they were all nice. I don't have anything bad to say about any of them.
Were any of them worried that something was going to happen to them?
Not that I was aware of, no. I mean, are we all a little neurotic that way?
You think they vanished on their own will, or were they forced to vanish?
That's a very good
I know it's a
question.
strange question, but
Very strange.
just asking your opinion. Like,
Maybe you should be in these pajamas.
You
Does
got some
somebody
truth there.
vanish on their own?
don't ask these two because they'll agree to that. But and I'm standing there with this bag.
No.
Maya
So-
says, sorry,
Go ahead, Maya.
Jerry, but
No, go ahead.
I imagine Maya interrupts Jerry all the time. So this is
fine.
this is part of the course. And did he introduce himself to Maya? Said he was
He says,
Ed?
yes, I'm Ed. He says,
Okay.
when he shakes your hand, he says, I'm sorry, how rude I am. My mother would have raised me better. I'm Ed.
She says, Ed, is it common knowledge among all the inmates that the 6 people that we are talking about, that they're gone? Does everyone know?
I don't know if everybody knows, but they may know they're gone, but they don't maybe know the strangeness of them being still locked up and vanishing.
Is there anyone that you've talked to, other inmates or guards, who says that they think they know what happened?
Maybe, not quite sure. Give me a criminology check, Mrs. Maya.
Criminology.
Ms. Maya.
Ms. is at a 50%.
At a plus 20.
So
just
good thing, because
barely.
I made it at a
Rock
70.
So you are sitting there talking to him and you're like, how do I know this guy? And then as you're talking to him and he's like, yeah, he's got a little flair to him. Then it clicks. You're like, oh, like if you ever met a person and then realized who they were after the fact, like somebody that might have some significance, or maybe you didn't know who they were and all of a sudden you realize, oh, they're just not some Joe Schmo or Jane Schmo. This is what kind of hits you. So you realize Ed Myler West, he had killed his family in California.
Oh. Did he go on the run?
He murdered his father, mother, and sister with a shotgun in 2010 on his 16th birthday.
Oh, so he's not very old.
21.
No, he said young 20s. Yeah.
So you're like, you remember reading about this guy being in the U.S. Marshal Service.
Gotcha.
He was,
I'm sure it was all over the news. Yeah.
yeah, he was known as the poor little rich boy murders in the press. And they convicted him of murder, but he successfully pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. And the reason the pretty little rich boy murders comes into play is because he's got a trust fund that's got a lot of money. And that's how they got him to get to the East Coast, which is unusual. You know how much it takes bureaucratically to, like, let me get this straight. The guy's done a triple homicide in the state of California, got off on reason of insanity, and then not put in and stayed in California.
She, yeah. She looks at him and says, I think I remember your situation.
Oh. So you know me.
I remember when it happened. I worked in law enforcement for quite a while.
Oh, how long have you been in law enforcement, Agent Maya?
Since the 90s.
Oh. Yeah. That's about, well, almost as long as I've been alive.
She nods. She's not quite sure where to take that part of the conversation. She's just sort of filing it away. Is there any, maybe she'll try to look up some details later about his specific case, the defense that was used, what the diagnosis was, and that kind of thing. So you're making progress here?
Well, I like to think so. I've grown up a little bit.
Unlike your siblings, she thinks to herself. What else can you tell us, Ed?
All I know is they vanished like thin air. It's bizarre. But I don't
Is
know.
that the first time something strange has happened here?
There's strange things that happen all the time, but I don't know if it's brought in by some of the newer patients or if it's just me. But nothing I find any unusual.
What does that mean? What's an example of something you think is
Oh.
strange?
I mean, I don't know, maybe strange that a 16-year-old murders his whole family.
She nods. You think that's strange now?
I take a step backwards because at first I didn't understand when she said she knew him, and I'm putting the math together, and that's a little scary to me. I'm right next to him, so I'm
Protecting the mummy.
stepping away with my mummy, and then I whisper to the bag, "Are you one of his agents?" He said he has agents everywhere.
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking to the bag.
Looks at Maya and Mantillo. Looks at the nurse. Huh.
He's an author. What do you expect?
Jerry's had a long day.
Apparently.
Jerry, stop joking around. Jerry, stop it.
I'm
No more
sorry.
joking around.
I'm sorry. I need to get some fresh air. I want to go down to the first floor.
Yeah, I should probably get going too. Are you guys going to be around? Are you coming back again, or is this a one-day trip?
Hard to say. Depends on what we find. I bet you'll see us again.
Yeah. Well, if this is your first time here, you got a lot to unravel, I imagine, with 6 people missing.
We do.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you all 3 again.
If anything occurs to you that you remember, you can talk to Dr. Dallard, right? Or the nurse. They can get in contact with us.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
No way to see. Is there anything written on the outside of his book? Or is it just like a leather journal?
Just a leather journal.
Okay.
So he starts walking. He's like, excuse me. And then he kind of cuts through and walks down the hallway from the direction Maya came.
I say to Maya, I gave him my first name and last name. Is that going to be a problem?
Nice work, Jerry. Let's hope he stays in here.
Won't be a problem for me.
When Ed is gone, she's going to turn to Samagia and say, he had a journal. Does he have a pen or a pencil?
Oh, yes. He's earned the right. He's earned the privilege.
I don't understand your rules. I thought this floor was for people who are dangerous to themselves and others. If he has a pen or a pencil, he could murder someone.
He could, but that's, we have to start somewhere, and we have to start loosening up the strings little by little, and it's very patient by patient.
So he's a civilian. So this entire place is not for military or government personnel.
He's a murderer.
He is one of the. He's an exception to many of our patients. Yes.
Yeah, because we were told it was mostly government.
That's correct.
Employees.
Ed is one of the few that are not.
And I look at
why is he out here?
That face, yeah.
Well, because he needs help.
No, but why is he out here?
Well,
in a PTSD veterans hospital.
Yeah.
Why did he want to leave California?
Yeah.
Well, I can't ask why they wanted him. I mean, we do have a reputation, and it was known for. We're known to help individuals, and they were insistent upon him coming out here, and so there were arrangements. Some of the details I'm not privy to, unfortunately.
Oh, so
Who
it
was-
wasn't that he wanted to come out here. Was it somebody wanted to send him out here?
And who was
As far
that?
as you know.
Well, he was
So
17, 18, I think, when he got out here. So there's not.
I hang the duffel bag on my arm and I take out my phone to Google
It's
the trial, and I want to know who the doctor was that represented him in the
I
trial.
want to know who the they is that wanted him out here.
I'm very curious if it was Dallin was the one who gave
like hand
testimony.
selected him, right?
There's no. Let me see.
Because that would be public record. Oh no, maybe not. Not if he was 16. I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
There.
Unless they tried him as an adult.
So you do find records of his crimes online, like some of the press releases in the news. And there was a doctor that you don't recognize that was involved in the trial and in evaluating him, but it was not Dr. Dallin.
Okay. Maya and Mantillo. I know I spoke to Maya about this for a second, but I think we need to get the files on these patients. Maybe not just R6, now that we have details about this patient.
It's a lot of reading.
Can we carry an entire file cabinet out without anyone knowing?
So the nurse is right here, I think.
Yes,
She is.
she's standing right there.
I'm sorry. I did not say that out loud.
Jerry, you have your bladder. You have drank like a huge amount of water before you got to the Dorchester house, and you have to go to the bathroom really bad.
Mantillo, I've got to go. Can you just take this?
Yep, I got it. No worries.
Esther, the facilities. Is it?
Yes, of course. Just go down to the hall, the direction that Agent Maya came from, and then there's right by the corner there. There's a restroom.
Okay. I will be right back.
Trying to figure out what weird ass game Jerry is up to now.
Please don't.
Right. But it turns out he just put it
When
out.
you see me walking down the hall, you can
Yeah.
tell I really have to go to the desk.
He just got the
There's a
wiggles.
little extra pep in my step.
Yeah,
That's
He's
all.
getting good at his acting. Never really noticed that before.
Yeah. So I'm going to make this as fast as humanly possible.
So you go down to the bathroom and you enter, and it's a regular your bathroom and men's bathroom, and got the urinals and the stalls. And as you're going up, are you going to a stall or a urinal? Just out of curiosity.
I'm going to a urinal.
Okay.
You
So
said my
as
bladder.
you're standing there, one of the stalls opens up, and it's Ed.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
And
I pee on my leg. There's no way I do not jump.
like, I didn't mean to startle you. And he's
Yeah.
all he does is he on top of the urinal, he kind of comes to the side and he reaches his hand and he puts his hand on top of the urinal. He pulls it back, and then he walks out the bathroom door. And on top
Like he pats the urinal.
on top of the urinal,
Touches like the top of the porcelain. Yeah. Okay.
and on top of the porcelain, as he removes his hand, is a small square like sticky note.
With my non-wet hand, I look at it real quick, and before I put it in my pocket, is it something quick I can read?
Yeah. I mean, it's a sticky note, dude. It's not a book.
I don't. He could write really small, and I have to read it all. Two sides.
While peeing.
Well,
Yeah.
right.
No, I pitched it all. I'm not finishing. I'm done. I need to get the bark out of this place. I am going to wash my hands. I'm not an animal.
And you see it, and it says on the note, it says, "How did you find me? I thought you had left. In any case, they are still here at night."
Oh dear.
Okay. So I take it real quick, stick it in my pocket, and I make my way out of there, running even faster back. And I splashed extra water from the sink on me, so it looked like I was washing my hands.
Of course.
And it's all water. Yeah. Crazy spout on the faucet. Okay.
So I think that's probably a good spot to stop.
That seems like a great place to
Yeah,
stop.
Yeah, that is a great spot to stop because now it's going to burn. I'm just going to think about this for 2 weeks now. Who is that referring to? I don't.
This has been a Litterbox Studio production.